Welcome. I am Largadobar, and this is Solving All the Problems with Violence. Tonight we're heading back to Street Fighter 6 for a little something special. It's not Halloween anymore, but it's, I don't know. Every day is Halloween, because I say it is. So let's take a look. Or not, because OBS Studio is freaking out. Is it this thing working? It might be. It might not be. Right. Almost Dawson's birthday. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so yeah. It's been a while since we booted up Street Fighter 6. We took a look at Viper. So now we're heading back in the World Tour, but not to hang out with Viper. It's because they have some sort of weird collaboration going on with something called Banshee's Last Cry, which I've never heard of or played before, but I guess it's like a visual novel. Kind of a scary one. Yeah. Since it's free, let's take a look. Alright, so if we were to take a look at the world map here. Right, so, Street Fighter's Last Cry. A night of tragedy unfolds after a group of fighters find a mysterious note. On it reads the words, "Tonight at midnight equals D." Not that D, hold on. Hold on a second. Welcome to the Kung Fu Kong Villa. During your time here, you'll be going by the name of Max. Enjoy your stay. Endings reach 0 out of 50. Huh. It's like, what have I gotten myself into? Alright, guess we'll do a new game and just see what's up, and if we don't like it, because no one's forcing us to play it, so. When I came to, I found myself in front of a fancy building. Well, let's see, this Kung Fu Kong Villa Resort. A girl appearing as a blue silhouette spoke to me in a friendly voice. A resort? It all came back to me as I considered what she said. Kung Fu Kong Corporation, a renowned martial arts conglomerate, runs this facility for fighters from all over. As a fighter myself, I had been invited here. We appear as blue silhouettes to hide our true identities and prevent needless confrontations between red-blooded fighters. How does that work? So, we gotta get a Grace voice going. Let's see. What does it sound like? I'm a guest of this resort too. I go by Grace here. What's your name? I'd probably do better than that. She asked. My mind searched for the answer. I'm Max. Nice to meet you. Grace chuckled in response. Well, let's get going. The glass door in front of us gleamed brightly in the evening twilight, as if beckoning us to use it. From this moment on, I would spend the night here, using Max as my alias. A wave of excitement for what awaited me washed up my body as I pushed open the door. The Banshee and Street Fighter's last cry. Welcome, Max and Grace, I presume? A man of medium build greeted us in the spacious entrance. My name is William Forrest. At least here it is. The apron he wore and his calm demeanor gave him the appearance of resort management, but he was also a guest. I've been visiting here for a long time, so they've put me in charge of managing things while I'm present. He then took a moment to explain a few things to Grace and me, as it was our first time visiting. Let's go over some ground rules. First, no snooping around in others' business. Second, just because we're all fighters doesn't mean you go around picking fights. Fighters took on new identities here in order to unwind and relax. As long as you follow those simple rules, feel free to do as you like. There's a game room and a billiard room, and the food here is quite good. William added, winking as if he'd just sealed a great deal. And here are your room keys. A voice called from behind the reception desk nearby. A woman in an apron similar to William stood there, smiling gently. That's Colleen. Like me, she's a veteran around here and helps out with things behind the scenes. At the mention of her name, Colleen nodded politely. A whiteboard in front of the reception listed all the room numbers and the guests currently staying at the resort. So, Max, your room is 206, Grace 207. She explained she handed us our keys. Wait, the guest rooms are upstairs on the second floor. They should be ready for you, but since dinner is about to be served, you can wait in the lounge if you'd like. Colleen suggested, pointing to the area next to the stairs. The lounge was cozy, furnished with a rustic fireplace. A large coffee table was surrounded by sofas enough to seat about 10 people. True to its name, it seemed like the perfect place to relax and chat. I think I'll wait here, Grace exclaimed as she threw herself onto the sofa. She stretched and let out a satisfied sigh. Having seen her embrace relaxation, I decided to follow suit. Crossing the entrance, I sat down on the sofa opposite Grace. Busy with dinner preparations, William and Colleen hurried into the kitchen at the back of the first floor. Without anything particular to talk about, I absent-mindedly gazed at Grace. Even though her form was obscured by a blue silhouette, I could still make out the expression on her face. Her eyes, dark and deep, locked onto mine, her smile radiating a warmth that felt both inviting and disarming. Even the way she sat, her head tilted ever so slightly, was endearing. There was no doubt she was an attractive girl. I couldn't help but wonder what kind of fighter she was. Just as I started to imagine, I quickly shook my head. I had been warned not to involve myself in others' business. Here I was obsessing over the first cute girl I see, How pathetic, thought to myself. Three girls chattered loudly while descending the stairs in a line. What the heck are we even supposed to do here? A pretty but somewhat rigid girl asked as she left the group. Eat as much as we want, then go back to our room and watch TV, replied the smiling girl trailing along with a round, jolly appearance. The bespectacled, tomboyish girl in the middle shrugged her shoulders in exasperation. Might as well get some use out of the TV after Debbie was so annoying about getting a room with one. Said I was sorry, Molly. Debbie responded apologetically, absent-mindedly practicing her sumo as she did. I don't want to miss the sumo tournament, that's all. Honestly, why don't you waste your time here watching TV? Pretty girl responded, furrowing her eyebrows. There's no reason to get so angry, Tiffany, Debbie exclaimed. Suddenly, Grace asked me softly. All three of them are pretty cute, huh? Which one would you choose? I faltered. Is she talking about a sparring partner or a date? Unsure, I hesitated before responding. The beautiful Tiffany, the tomboyish Molly, the charming Debbie, first someone like you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, Alright, Alright, we're going for it. We're going D. First, someone like you. You've got a type, huh? Grace joked. She squinted her eyes playfully, knowing she was getting a rise out of me. But you know that's not allowed. You can't go on picking fights, remember? Oh, you meant as a sparring partner. That's right, we're all fighters after all. What did you think I meant? Oh, I mean... Her response trailed off awkwardly. Suddenly, the sound of a car engine broke the silence. Continued to grow louder, then came to a stop. Yeehaw! Here at last! A middle-aged man with broad shoulders, a rugged look, and speaking in a distinct southern accent stormed in. And then there was his wife, a delicate woman with a fragile, almost melancholic aura accompanying him. The Buchanans, welcome! William raced out of the kitchen to greet them. How was your trip here? Well, the car held up okay, but the roads are rough once it got to snowing. Glad we made it before everything froze. As he spoke, we could see that small flakes of snow were now contained in the blowing wind outside. The cuckoo clock on the wall by the entrance squawked 7 times. It was already 7 p.m. William, shall we start serving dinner? Asked a petite woman who approached from across the room. She was dressed in a work uniform, suggesting her position was to help around the resort. Yes, Abby, please, if you will. Abby replied with a cheerful, uh-huh, and led us to the dining hall. The dining hall was spacious, filled with tables covered in white cotton cloths, each one evenly spaced apart. A trio of girls from before the Buchanans took their seats at their respective tables. It seemed everyone assumed Grace and I were a couple, as we were seated across from each other at the same table. Can't wait! Grace smiled across the table, her eyes shining. Yeah, me too. Seems like the food here is pretty famous. I added as she tilted her head slightly in response. It's not just the food, she said with a smile. Get the feeling something's about to happen, don't you? About to happen? Like what? Feels like we've all come here and become people, just a little bit different than our usual selves. For some reason, it feels like we have a part to play. A part to play? I looked over at William, who was prepping at the kitchen counter. You mean like we'll start helping out at the resort like William? Yeah, something like that. Grace replied while nodding. I think being with you is also part of it. Something might happen to us together. The thought that I might have a greater purpose here made a fresh wave of excitement wash over me. This is all very exciting. I grinned. That must mean our parts to play her as lovers, baby. That seems a little bit too much. Must mean your part here is to guide me. Who knows? A mysterious smile curled on her lips. Before I realized, dinner had come to an end. I was so focused on chatting, I barely noticed the food. Thing better than a cup of tea after a meal. A man approached our table. With his sleeveless shirt showing off his beefy arms, he carried 2 cups filled near to spilling. He set the tea down, half of it spilling onto the table, and gives a thumbs up with his calloused hand. Everyone says I make a killer cup. He introduced himself as Bobby. Like Abby, he helped out around the resort. Nice to meet you. He laughed as he slapped my back and chest. Figured it was a friendly gesture, but honestly it hurt. Seems he didn't quite have a sense of his own strength. Despite most of it spilling, the tea was still refreshing. Set the cup down and suddenly caught a scent in the air. It smells good. What is that? As I searched for the source of the aroma, my eyes landed on the man at the corner table, casually tilting his cup. His hunched posture seemed oddly suspicious. Over there, that's John, Abby said quietly as she came to clear our table. I believe he's adding cinnamon to his tea. He always spices it up. The resort boasted an array of tea options, where adding milk and lemon was only the beginning. Shall we? Prompted by Grace, we left the dining hall. As we passed by the entrance, the girls from before were making a fuss. It's outside our window, Molly exclaimed as she furrowed her brow in confusion. Sure it wasn't there before dinner, Debbie added in dismay. I made sure the door and windows were locked, Tiffany chimed in, bristling. Please calm down. There's no need to worry. You found this outside your window, you say? William was holding a piece of paper in his hand. Intrigued, I leaned to take a closer look. The following was written. Tonight at midnight equals D. It's so bad. Tonight at midnight equals D. Some letters are partially faded and nearly illegible. Yet for some reason, I felt like I could read them. Someone will dance? I'd probably be able to discern if it said dance or But doesn't this say someone will die at midnight? What do you mean someone will die at midnight? It's so scary. Debbie panicked, her pudgy hands covering her mouth. This must be a joke, said Tiffany harshly. She looked at me with a hard stare. Cornered, I held my hands up defensively. Someone will die at midnight. I don't even know why I interpreted it that way. It was like a strange sense of deja vu. Like this had all happened before, or maybe it was all predetermined. Like an endless cycle, and it will all happen again. What's going on down here? Buchanan came downstairs and joined the conversation. Chase took the paper from William's hand and snorted. Stuck this in the second floor window? Without no ladder or nothing? They must be out of their mind. Apparently the window in the next room was too far away to reach just by hand. The wind must have blown it in from somewhere and got stuck up there. He had a point. That was indeed a possibility. Chase turned toward the girls who were looking upset and flashed a grin that revealed the shine of his gold tooth. Now you gals better turn those frowns upside down, you hear? Whether true or not, Chase's swaggered speech lightened the mood, leaving everyone feeling a little less tense. The girls headed back to their room as they muttered, while William returned to cleaning up. For some reason, I found myself sitting down on the sofa in the lounge of the Buchanans. Thanks for calming everyone down back there. That's what I'm here for, friend. Chase said with a smug expression painted on his face. Well, I might not look it, but I'm the head honcho of a big old team back home, and when you're leading, you can't even let the littlest problem slide, you get me? He gave off a somewhat shady impression, but maybe there is more to him than meets the eye. Chase leaned forward, as I couldn't help be impressed. Someone like you, a youngin' I could whip into shape and make you something real special. Really? But damn straight I can. Join the team, train up a bit. You'll be a hot shot at lickety split. I wasn't sure what kind of team it was, but the idea of being a leader sounded pretty cool. Chase continued pressing me. How about it, Max? Want to join me? He considered for a moment before answering. Like, if it were me, I would ask for more details. Like, what the shit? Come on, dude. Hey, we're going for it. Sign me up. Yeehaw! Chase puffed out his chest with a grin. Then it's a deal. We better get moving. And then things started moving fast. Chase took me to the town where the team was located. And from there, I was under his command. I began as an errand boy, but slowly made my way up the ranks. Eventually, I became Chase's right-hand man. 30 years of sleepless nights and giving it my all. Having steered the team's success, I thought it was time to unwind and visit the resort again and reward myself. Yeehaw! Here at last! My car fought through the blizzard to reach its destination. You guests are already at the resort, it seemed. Little did I know, this was just the beginning. It was going to be a long, harrowing night. Yeehaw, I'm the leader. And end. Yeehaw and end. Like, what? Nah, I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry. So wait. Okay, so obviously that wasn't really the right one. Alright. If I continue. For some reason, I found myself sitting down on the sofa in the lounge of the Buchanans. Thanks for calming everyone down back there. That's what I'm here for, friend. Chase said with a smug expression painted on his face. Well, I might not look like it, but I'm the head honcho of a big old team back home. And when you're leading, you can't let even the littlest problem slide, you get me? Gave off a somewhat shady impression. Maybe there's more to him than meets the eye. Chase leans forward as I couldn't help but be impressed. Someone like you, a youngin', I can whip you into shape and make you something real special. Really? Damn straight I can. Join the team, train up a bit. It'll be a hot shot lickety split. Wasn't sure what kind of team it was. The idea of being a leader sounded pretty cool. Chase continued pressing me. How about it, Max? Want to join me? Considered for a moment before answering. Oh, does it tell you something you've already done before? That's funny. Sorry, I don't think so. Couldn't agree with something I knew nothing about. Apologized and declined. Amber Buchanan laughed. Must apologize on behalf of my husband. He always gets like this whenever he sees someone he thinks he can use. Come on now. Chase's face tensed up like he just sucked on a lemon. Huh? Grace turned her gaze to the window and let out a noise. I think a little animal just ran by or something. I also glanced over. The snow and wind were picking up outside. A flicker of light reflected off the landscape outside. The headlights of a car. It's not an animal, it seems like a car. The car drew closer and the entrance door opened. Hello, everyone. It is I, the one, the only, Jonas Fabergé? Is that supposed to be like the egg? Well, it is now. That's what we're going with. Jonas Fabergé. Here to dazzle you with my presence this fine day. A man with a thick beard shouted loudly. In one hand, he carried a long stick with a camera attached to the end of it. Must be one of those influencers. No. Chase questioned under his breath. Meanwhile, Jonas kept on talking to his camera. The man known as Jonas twirled in place as he spoke, catching himself from all different angles. He was clearly recording a video. Excuse me, sir, William proclaimed as he rushed over. Could you please refrain from recording in the lobby? You need special permission to do so. The tone of William's voice was more stern than usual. Sorry, my man. Jonas shrugged and quickly put his camera away. Having finished his check-in, Jonas walked to the lounge without a hint of shame. Watch out, coming through. His tanned face looked tough, but the grin on his bearded lips seemed rather shallow. Flopped down next to Grace without even asking. Call me Jonas. My channel is called Fight It. I do vids and streams. Probably checked out my stuff before, right? His Fight It channel, as the name suggests, hosted footage of battles between fighters. Fought all kinds of opponents, beef-headed wrestlers, you name it. Jonas bragged, clearly proud of his accomplishments. Fighting is against the rules here, right? For a moment, I thought I saw Jonas's eyes narrow. But just as quickly, he returned to his usual lighthearted tone and continued talking. Of course, it's the place for fighters to chill, you know. Random fights, totally off limits, I get that, but... He leaned in and lowered his voice of sharing a secret. But we're all still fighters. I've heard some gnarly stuff happens on the down low. Interesting. Maybe this place wasn't all tea and biscuits after all. Jonas flashed a sly grin and continued. Plus, there are other rumors about this resort. Jonas stroked his beard, letting silence linger. Ever heard of the Banshee? It's a freaky creature with sharp blades of wind that can, like, slice people up. Is that what a banshee does? So, like, banshee's last cry in Japanese is actually called Kamai Tachi no Yoru. And a Kamai Tachi is something with sharp blades of wind that can slice people up. But the creature said to live in the woods, the banshee. It was a local folktale around these parts. It lurks in the woods with its long scythe-like nails. Man, the wind's going tonight. Perfect banshee weather, Jonas says. He was telling a ghost story. I gulped. Have you come here to film it? I asked. He shook his head. Nah, I'm just here to vibe like everyone else. But hey, if I catch something cool, I got my camera. Please, let's keep the filming to a minimum, William interrupted, his tone firm as he appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Right. Jonas replied, scratching his head awkwardly. The conversation shifted to getting drinks, but I stood up alone, quietly excusing myself. To be honest, I'd been fighting the urge to take a leak. Bathroom was just down the stairs. Banshee, huh? Sounded ridiculous, but a place like this with the storm raging outside, I'm not sure I'd be so surprised if something really did pop out. As I was taking care of business, a chill ran down my spine, and that's when I heard something. A scream so haunting it seemed to come from another world. What was that? I panicked to burst out of the bathroom. I wasn't sure, but I had a feeling it came from the game room. As I nervously made my way down the hallway, a shadow suddenly appeared in front of me. Whoa! I gasped in shock. It was Bobby. He was panting heavily, clearly flustered. Bobby, I heard a scream. He responded quickly before I could say anything else. Yeah, I heard it too, from the billiard room, I think. Bobby's finger pointed at the far end of the game room. What was that just now? Did you hear it too? William appeared, rushing over. Bobby's voice rose as if to will William move faster. Perfect timing, William. Do you have the key? The key? Key to the billiard room. For some reason, the billiard room was locked, and William was the one responsible for holding the resort's keys. Bobby was apparently aware of this. In fact, he'd just been going to find William to get the key. Are you sure you heard the scream from in there? William asked, stopping just in front of the door. Bobby nodded in response. I could see the lights flickering inside through the frosted glass window. I'm opening the door now. William pulled a set of keys from his apron pocket. He released the lock with a small metallic click. After a brief pause, he turned the doorknob. He stepped through the door, carefully and with hesitation. Flickering light made it difficult to get a clear sense of what was inside. The room looked normal, with the large billiard table standing in the center. We nervously huddled together and walked around it. And there, behind the table, we saw it. Eek! Couldn't tell if the pitiful scream had come from me, Bobby, or William. It was likely that all three of us had yelped. What we saw was beyond words, an unspeakable sight. A dead body. The man's body lay twisted on the floor unnaturally. His face was turned behind his back, his wide eyes staring blankly into the void. Every part of his body was contorted like a rag that was wrung out. It looked as if the blood-curdling scream we had heard had been wrung out of him by force. It's John, William muttered in a trembling voice. Bobby, his face drained of color, shook his head silently. We couldn't bring ourselves to look any longer and slowly stepped away from the body. Are we still alive? It's a trap now. After a long pause, William finally spoke. Let's leave him as he is for now. Not contaminating the scene seemed to be William's priority. Shouldn't touch anything or leave fingerprints behind. What about the back door? I pointed to it and asked. It was left wide open, battered by the wind, rattling violently. Evidence could be lost if we didn't do something. Yes, let's close it, William said, and I shut the door. You didn't look to see... Never mind. All right. I grabbed the knob using the hem of my shirt and locked it with a twist. We left the room and locked the inner door behind us. Now no one can enter the billiard room. Should we call the police? Bobby murmured in a hoarse voice, and William responded, Yes, let's go upstairs and call them from reception. We returned to the first floor, and William gathered all the guests in the lounge. He tells them something has happened, but to stay calm. He then walked over and grabbed the phone at the reception desk. What in tarnation? Tell us what's going on. Questions came pouring in as I gestured with my hands, signaling to calm everyone down. After taking a deep breath, I spoke. Someone has died. Died? What? Oh no! Everyone reacted in shock. Bobby, usually so confident, was trembling, and the tremor in my own voice made it clear that this was no joke. I spoke slowly, recounting what we had seen. The person who had died was likely John. The inner door to the billiard room had been locked. The back door leading outside had been left wide open. Are you saying it was murder? Saying it was murder? Could you have been mistaken? Colleen inquired. She spoke as if trying to will that to be the case. I shook my head. I recalled the unnaturally twisted body. His neck twisted around to the back, his empty white eyes staring vacantly. The entire body was twisted like a rag, as if someone had gripped the doll and wrung it with all their strength. A hush settled over everyone. Each person struggled to comprehend the situation. It's no use. William's voice shattered the silence. The phone lines are down. The storm must have knocked them out. Of course. He muttered, shaking his head with a grim expression. Y'all could try using my cell phone. Chase stood up and offered his cell phone to William. Clouded with concern, Chase's face dropped. What? No signal? That's right. William said with a sigh. We've intentionally made sure cell phones don't get service up here to help everyone disconnect and relax. We could drive to a spot with a signal, Jonah suggested. No, the roads are likely frozen solid, William said bitterly. If we got into an accident, we'd be stranded. The storm was strengthening by the minute. The surroundings of the resort had disappeared into darkness. The blinding snowstorm obscured any view. Venturing outside recklessly didn't seem like a wise choice. The cuckoo clock on the wall cheerfully chimed 9 times. It's already 9 p.m. Someone will die at midnight. Someone muttered quietly. I froze. Without thinking, I pulled out the note I'd absentmindedly put in my pocket. Could it have something to do with John's death? It's not even midnight yet. Does that mean the killer... It's not even midnight yet. Does that mean the killer jumped the gun? Molly said, the respectable girl on the verge of tears. This is awful. A murderer? Where did they go? Abby's voice pitched with panic as she spoke. These began to spread through the room. I can't take this anymore! Debbie shrieked, her voice shrill and desperate. What is happening? I want to go home. Calm down, Debbie. Tiffany tried to soothe her, but even her typically composed demeanor couldn't mask the worry in her eyes. That's right. Let's all calm down. The voice suddenly spoke. Chaos. It was Grace. She looked around at everyone and continued. Even if the note is a threat, the killer may have deliberately written the wrong time to distract us. There's no point in dwelling on it. She was as calm and steady as ever. The most important thing is understanding the killer's motive. If Joan was the target, then the murderers are probably already escaped. She had a point. Why would the killer stay near their crime scene? What we need to consider is the worst case scenario. Grace paused and looked around at everyone again. What do you mean, worst case scenario? Chase asked. Grace took a deep breath and replied. That someone else here is the next target. A murmur spread throughout the group. Picked up where Grace left off. If they are targeting someone else, then the killer might be hiding nearby. Exactly. If I were the killer, that's what I'd do, Grace said, nodding. Someone else? Debbie screamed again. Nothing's for certain. We're just considering all possibilities here, William said calmly, taking charge of the conversation. For now, let's check all the doors and windows. Good thinking. Alrighty, fellas, follow me. Chase took charge, showing off his leadership expertise. This is what a leader is supposed to do, he said, flashing a smug grin at the girls. Considering the situation, I decided that I should help out. Let's start from the second floor, William suggested as we gathered in front of the stairs. William, Chase, Bobby, Jonas, and me. 5 of us in total. Be careful. Oh, man, I'm so tired. Be careful, Grace said quietly, waving her hand to send us off. We nodded and began climbing the stairs. We started checking all of the guest rooms. We opened every door and inspected inside each one. The rooms appeared in order, and the windows were locked. The showers were all clear too. There was a small ventilation window in the hallway, but it was far too narrow for someone to fit through. Ain't nobody here, Chase muttered, a hint of relief in his voice. Yeah, seemed like it, I answered. Silent understanding passed between us. All of a sudden, a noise came from inside one of the rooms. What was that? Came from the storage room, Bobby pointed to the end of the hallway. There was a single door. And that's where we keep cleaning supplies and things. There's no space for a person to hide, William explained in a low voice. The storage room door was slightly ajar. We held our breath and silently surrounded it. One of us had to open the door to check inside, but who would it be? We exchanged glances. Our eyes all turned to one person. Me? Chase whispered, his voice barely audible. The rest of us nodded in unison. Looked like the leader was going to have to lead. Dang nabbit. Chase gathered his resolve and grabbed the knob and slowly opened it. Suddenly, a tiny figure shot out. Yep. Yeah! Chase yelped as he stumbled and fell on his backside. The figure zipped past him and dashed down the hallway. Cat! William breathed, his voice laced with relief. Oh, it's Ruby. What was she doing in there? Appeared for one of the resort's resident cats. That was everything on the second floor, including the storage room, confirmed safe. We headed back down to the first floor. For a moment, I was startled by a scream I heard in the lounge area, but turned out to be nothing to worry about. Ruby rushed down to the first floor, earning a squeal of glee from Tiffany when she spotted her. Oh my gosh, a kitty! At this point, any distraction was a good one. We continued to check the first floor. Reception, the staff room. The dining hall, the kitchen, finally the bathrooms. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, and every window was securely locked. At last, we made our way toward the game room. We carefully searched the gaps between the arcade machines. The only room left to search was the billiard room. We came to a stop in front of the door. Thought of facing the corpse again weighed heavily. Mom and Bobby's faces were just as tense. Yo, there's a body in there, right? It's like, not anymore, there's not. Jonas's voice quivered, yet his eyes lit up with excitement. The camera had somehow appeared in his hands as if he were playing to capture the moment. Now, wait just a moment. William shot a sharp glance at the camera. Hope you don't intend to use that. Of course not. Jonas quickly hit the camera behind his back. I'm just having a peek. No, we better not. William shook his head. We checked everything in there after we found the body earlier. No one was around, and we locked the back door. He was right. The billiard room should be completely secure. It's best not to interfere and preserve the scene. We explained our logic to Jonas and returned to the lounge. There was no sign of anything unusual within the resort. Hearing this, a sense of relief washed over everyone. As long as the front door was locked, no one would be able to get inside, unless they broke through a window. All we had to do was stay vigilant throughout the night, keep an eye on the weather, and head out tomorrow. We could then contact the police, and everything would be fine. These thoughts cascaded through my mind like a waterfall, until one single thought became trapped in the current. Could the perpetrator really have escaped outside? Honestly, John's killer could be any of us. This possibility shouldn't be ruled out. I took a deep breath and spoke up. Killer could be any one of us. A sudden shift in the air left everyone uneasy. It was something they had all vaguely sensed but hadn't dared to consider. I took the first leap into the unknown. There's someone here who doesn't have an alibi. A wave of excitement surged through me. Grace had said we each had a role to play here, and this might very well be mine. I was the detective, the one that could solve it all. With all eyes fixed on me, I continued. And that person is... like Bobby. If I say Bobby. Sure, let's go. Bobby. Bobby is the one that stood out to me. Bobby emerged from the game room just after the scream. He claimed he was going to fetch the key. We can believe that. He also helped around the resort. He likely had ample chance to make a spare key if he desired to. If we assume he had a spare key, Bobby could have locked the door after the crime. They pretended to go get the real key, which is when I crossed paths with him. Something like that. Afterward, he could have discarded the spare key somewhere, where he could still be carrying it. Are you accusing me without any evidence? Bobby glared at me, his voice dripping with menace. If I search you and find a spare key, I'll make you eat those words. If you want some, come get some.
Final round. Fight.
God damn it, game. I guess it's the... What is going on with... Hold on. Uh-oh. Windows, I hate you so much. Okay, look. Stop messing with my audio.
Called it.
Easy. Bobby was a tough opponent, but I somehow managed to take him down. His strength is no match for my brains. Huh, that's strange. No spare key. William mumbled quietly as he searched Bobby. He must have disposed of it somewhere. William gave me a puzzled look. Are you sure he's the culprit? Possibility was the culprit wasn't exactly zero. But then again, there was no evidence to prove it. Maybe? I said, scratching my head. Did I do something wrong? I had. I just beat up someone who was innocent. The group's gaze pierced through me like sharp daggers. The case remained unresolved. Outside the resort, there was no sign of the storm ending. I felt like the night would stretch on forever. A long, hard night. Lol. There was no sign of anything unusual within the resort. Hearing this, a sense of relief washed over everyone. As long as the front door was locked, no one would be able to get inside, unless they broke through a window. All we had to do was stay vigilant through the night, keep an eye on the weather, and head out tomorrow. We could then contact the police, and everything would be fine. These thoughts cascaded through my mind like a waterfall until one single thought became trapped in the current. Could the perpetrator really have escaped outside? Honestly, John's killer could be any of us. This possibility shouldn't be ruled out. I took a deep breath and spoke up. Killer could be any one of us. A sudden shift in the air left everyone uneasy. It was something they'd all vaguely sensed but hadn't dared consider. I took the first leap into the unknown. There's someone here who doesn't have an alibi. A wave of excitement surged through me. Grace had said we each had a role to play here, and this might very well be mine. I was the detective, the one that could solve it all. With all eyes fixed on me, I continued. And that person is... It's like me! It'd be like me. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's too early to say for sure. That's right. There aren't enough clues to figure this out. Shook my head. An indescribable awkward atmosphere filled the lounge. Very well. William, who had been unusually silent, raised his voice as if he'd made up his mind. Let's check around the outside of the resort. A whisper spread throughout the group. William continued in a calm tone. Quickly checking the surroundings should give us reassurance there's nothing to worry about, yes. Count me in! Bobby stepped forward. It was the same group as before. I knew I should go too. Jonas also stood up, presumably thinking the same thing. Chase didn't move. I reckon I'll stay here and look after the ladies. He was likely feeling the sting of embarrassment of having screamed at nothing but a little cat. We set off as a group of 4. At Jonas's suggestion, we decided to split up into 2 groups and circle the mansion from opposite sides. This way, we could surround anyone that we came across. We'll meet around back. Agreeing with William, I started walking alongside Bobby. We circled the outer wall, going left, as the wind and snow blusted around us. William and Jonas moved in the opposite direction. Despite the darkness, lights were scattered across the area, faintly illuminating our surroundings. At the half point, I turned my gaze to the forest. Who could possibly stay out here in conditions like this? It seemed unthinkable. Just as that thought crossed my mind, a scream cut through the air. Bobby and I looked at each other in worry. We ran toward the back of the mansion. I hurried forward, glancing around, but the pelting snow stung my face, making it hard to see. As I turned the corner, a figure suddenly appeared. Ah! I didn't have time to react. The figure lunged forward.
Final round. Fight!
In the heat of the moment, I somehow took my opponent down. I knelt down, unable to believe my eyes. William? The figure that had lunged at me, it was him. Ugh. Groaning, William spoke in broken sentences. He explained that he had been suddenly hit from behind during his patrol. Right after that, I ran into you. He had mistaken me for the one who had attacked him. It was simply the result of poor visibility. Was the one who hit you the murderer? Was it Jonas? Bobby asked, nearly frozen with surprise. Where is he now? The storm grew fiercer, cloaking everything in an icy veil. Jonas, are you out there? Bobby's scream echoed into the void, his voice a desperate plea, but the wilderness swallowed it whole. William fainted, and only silence remained. Jonas's absence was unsettling, but considering the situation, looking for him would be futile. We should get him to safety, he said, and Bobby nodded in agreement. Together we lifted his limp body and made our way back to the entrance. Jonas went out, William, Max just knocked him out clean. What tarnation's going on here? Laid William down in the staff room and went back to the lounge and to find Chase waiting there, eager to approach me. We're not entirely sure. Jonas may have been the one who hit William, and then because of that, we ended up fighting by accident when we ran into each other. I mumbled, struggled to explain. That ain't making a lick of sense. Chase's expression remained unclear, his confusion evident. The others in the lounge were looking uneasy too. I didn't blame them. A lot had happened. As Bobby and I kept explaining, everyone began to piece together what had actually happened. So you're saying Jonas did it? I shook my head to indicate my lack of confidence. If Jonas did attack William, then there must be some kind of reason why. It wasn't clear if this all was connected to John's murder. Either way, Jonas had seemingly vanished into thin air. There was nothing more I could add. So did you figure out anything else? Grace inquired. She expected me to evolve my role as the detective. I tried to think hard, wanting to meet her expectations. Now that you mention it, we found the Banshee. That freaky thing Jonas was talking about? Chase asked, as I nodded in response, turning to face everyone. The strange creature that slashes with blades of wind. I now knew the creature's true identity. The Banshee is... Jonas William Ectoplasm? Ectoplasm? Oh, William, because he uses sonic boom. That's funny. Sure, that might be funny. Let's go with that. William. During our fight, William used techniques involving blades of wind. I recalled our battle. Yes, it made so much sense. William must have fought someone here before. And from those stories, rumors of the Banshee had spread. Come to think of it, when Jonas mentioned the Banshee, William quickly steered the conversation another way. He was worried about his true identity being uncovered. Could be, I reckon. Chase nodded. The others in the lounge seemed slightly impressed by my revelation. All of a sudden, it's just the same voice clip repeatedly. Another scream echoed through the air. Huh? What the? No way. Everyone erupted into a flurry of confusion. Tension was etched on every face. The scream had come from downstairs. A sinking feeling told me it was coming from the billiard room once again. Let's go check it out, said to no one in particular, then take off briskly. Bobby and Chase followed close behind. We stepped in front of the billiard room. Up until now, there had been no sign of anything unusual. Not here again. Felt a sense of deja vu from the flickering lights, the defrosted glass as I reached for the door handle. And then I noticed. Where's the key? Of course, William has it, Bobby responded. Should I go get it? No, ain't got time for that. Chase's voice was sharp. He was right, we couldn't spare a second. This is a dang wooden door, break it down, Chase exclaimed. Bobby kicked the area near the handle with all his strength. The hinges of the door whined as the lock snapped. The door swung open. We charged into the billiard room. At first glance, everything seemed unchanged. There were no signs that anyone was hiding inside. But to me, there was something different. It was the smell, the overwhelming scent of something burnt. What is that smell? With a growing sense of unease, I circled around the billiard table in the center of the room. I didn't want to see the twisted, grotesque corpse again, but I couldn't just leave it be. And sure enough, there it was. Ugh. The stench of burnt flesh wafted into the air. The body was severely charred, burnt beyond recognition. Oh, what the? Bobby recoiled at the sight of the body, covering his nose. The corpse, twisted in agony as it collapsed in pain, was still smoldering. The nightmarish sight still made me gag, the bile rising in my throat as I struggled to hold it back. What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? Chase asked. He turned away to avoid looking directly at the body. I knew how he felt. I too wanted nothing more than to look away. Well, the culprit ain't here. Let's head on back. Chase's voice sliced with tension, and Bobby, his face drained of color, nodded quickly. Yeah, let's get out of here. This is beyond us. Bobby whispered as he turned sharply and made for the door. As for me, I forced down my disgust and stepped closer to the body. Crouched down to examine the body further. It had clearly been exposed to intense heat, the entire body charred beyond recognition. But the body was no longer contorted. How? Something was lying beneath the body's arm. I gently pushed it aside to get a better look, but the burned skin crumbled off with a nauseating crack. Ah! The repulsiveness of the feeling nearly made me cry out. I bit my tongue and picked up the object. Is this a keyring? It looked familiar. That's right, it resembled the one William always carried. Why is it here? A second scream. A burned body. A key ring. There was so much I didn't understand, but the sight of the body in my peripheral vision kept my thoughts scattered. I turned away and decided to head back to the others. The lounge was silent. Too many terrible things had happened that night. Everyone was at a loss for what to do. Shall I get the tea brewing? Colleen stood up, her expression kind. Good idea. I'll help. Abby chimed in. How many want a cup? Abby looked around the room, counting on her fingers. Colleen, Abby, the 3 girls, the Buchanans, Bobby, Grace, and myself, 10 people in total. If you exclude William, who was resting in the staff room, everyone was here. I don't like hot things. No tea for me, Ruby the cat said. A faint chuckle passed through the group. Well then, 10 cups, excluding the cat. Abby and Colleen headed off together toward the kitchen. What a night it had been. Screams, twisted corpse, the Banshee. If I were a better detective, maybe I could piece together the puzzle and find the answer. But I had no idea. Eventually, Colleen and Abby returned, gave out the tea. Fragrant aroma from the cups seemed to ease our nerves. We're not going to talk about the cat. No. All right. This is beyond us now. I recalled the words that Bobby said earlier. I agreed. What was happening here was beyond our control. Everyone returned to their rooms, locked their doors, and waited for the morning. It was the safest thing to do. I'm not sure who came up with the idea, but we all agreed it was the best course of action. I returned to my room, pulled the sheets over my head, and laid down on the bed. I was completely drained. As midnight drew near, I thought I heard a knock. But I stayed in bed, not moving an inch. I was done with mysteries. No more. I gave up and drifted off to sleep. Only it were a dream. Was I not supposed to examine the body? Was that... Well, I'm just silent. Too many terrible things that happened that night. Everyone was lost for what to do. Was there just no way to... Alright, this is friggin... Alright. Huh? What the? Sinking feeling told me it was coming from the billiard room once again. Let's go check it out, said no one in particular. Bobby and Chase followed close behind. We stepped in front of the billiard room. Up until now, there had been no sign of anything unusual. Okay, yeah, we're gonna kick the door open. William got the key. No, ain't no time. We gotta break down the door, dog. This is go with the Cliff Notes version. First glance, everything seemed unchanged. There were no signs anyone was hiding inside. It's like we're chilling or trying to solve a murder mystery or something. I don't know. to me, there was something different. It was the smell. The overwhelming scent of something burnt. What is that smell? With a growing sense of unease, I circled around the table in the center of the room. I didn't want to see the twisted, grotesque corpse again, but I couldn't just leave it be. Sure enough, there it was. Ugh. The stench of burnt flesh wafted into the air. The body was severely charred, burnt beyond recognition. What the? Bobby recoiled at the sight of the body, covering his nose. The corpse, twisted in agony as if it had collapsed in pain, was still smoldering. The nightmarish sight nearly made me gag, the bowel rising in my throat as I struggled to hold it back. What the hell's going on? Chase asked. He turned away to avoid looking directly at the body. I knew how he felt. I too wanted nothing more than to look away. Well, the culprit ain't here. Let's head on back. Chase's voice sliced through the tension, and Bobby, his face drained of color, nodded quickly. Yeah, let's get out of here. This is beyond us. Bobby whispered as he turned sharply and made for the door. As for me, heard and followed right behind them. The lounge was silent. Too many terrible things had happened that night. Everyone was at a loss for what to do. Shall I get the tea brewing? Colleen stood up, her expression kind. Good idea, I'll help. Abby chimed in. How many want a cup? Abby looked around the room, counting on her fingers. Colleen, Abby, the 3 girls, the Buchanans, Bobby, Grace, and myself. 10 people in total. If you exclude William, who's resting in the staff room, everyone was here. I don't like hot things. No tea for me, Ruby the cat said. A faint chuckle passed through the group. Well then, 10 cups excluding the cat. Abby and Colleen headed off together toward the kitchen. What a night it had been. Screams, twisted corpse, the Banshee. If I were a better detective, maybe I could piece together the puzzle, find the answer. But I had no idea. Eventually, Colleen and Abby returned and gave out the tea. The fragrant aroma from the cup seemed to ease our nerves. This is beyond us now. I recalled the words Bobby said earlier. I agreed. What was happening here is beyond our control. Everyone turned to their rooms, locked the doors, and waited for the morning. It was the safest thing to do. I'm not sure who came up with the idea, but we all agreed it was the best course of action. I returned to my room, pulled the sheets over my head, and laid down on the bed. I was completely drained. As midnight drew near, I thought I heard a knock. But I stayed in bed, not moving an inch. I was done with mysteries, no more. I gave up and drifted off to sleep. Hey, wait a minute. It's like, why did both choices lead to the same thing? Tarnation's going on here. Alright, so let's see. We're not entirely sure. Jonas may have been the one who hit William. And because of that, we ended up fighting by accident. We ran into each other. I mumbled, struggling to explain. This ain't making a lick of sense. Chase's expression remained unclear, his confusion evident. The others in the lounge were looking uneasy too. I didn't blame them. A lot had happened. As Bobby and I kept explaining, everyone began to piece together what had actually happened. So you're saying Jonas did it? I shook my head to indicate my lack of confidence. Jonas did attack William. There must be some kind of reason why. It wasn't clear. This was all connected to John's murder. Either way, Jonas had seemingly vanished into thin air. There was nothing more I could add. So, did you figure out anything else? Grace inquired. She expected me to evolve my role as a detective. I tried to think hard, wanting to meet her expectations. Now that you mention it, we found the Banshee. Freaky thing Jonas was talking about? Chase asked, and I nodded in response, turning to face everyone. The strange creature that slashed with blades of wind. I now knew the creature's true identity. The Banshee is... Jonas, William. Ectoplasm? Ectoplasm? Oh. Jonas. Jonas! That's right, Jonas was the Banshee. He revealed his true form, attacked William, and then disappeared to the night, carried away by the wind. It's the only explanation. Bobby tilted his head in confusion. But William didn't have any slash wounds. Huh? He was right. I quickly added something to cover myself. He must have decided to punch him instead. This is dumb. This is very dumb. All of a sudden, another scream echoed through the air. Huh? What the? Oh no, we gotta do this again. Let's go check it out, said no one in particular. Took off briskly. Up until now, there had been no sign of anything unusual. Not here again. And then I noticed, where's the key? Of course, William has it. To me, there was something different. How? Something was lying beneath the body's arm. The key ring? Looks familiar. It resembled the one William always carried, but why is it here? The second scream, a burned body. Key ring. So much didn't understand, but the sight of the body in my peripheral vision kept my thoughts scattered. I turned away and decided to head back to the others. Like, this is garbage. Okay. All right, look. All right. I guess if I were to choose the third option that I thought was stupid, maybe that's actually the one I'm supposed to choose. And she is Jonas, William, ectoplasm. Ectoplasm! That's right. As you know, many of the world's strange phenomena are caused by ectoplasm. Banshee is no different. No one challenged my statement. That meant they accepted it. The truth is out of this world. Puffed out my chest, feeling triumphant. All of a sudden. He's like, I gotta do this again. Okay. It's like, this has to lead to something. Yeah, it's a key ring. Look familiar. Why is it here? Second scream, a burned body, a key ring. There was so much I didn't understand. The sight of the body in my peripheral vision kept my thoughts scattered. Turned away and decided to head back to the others. The Banshee, if I had been a better... If I had been a better detective... What? Something isn't right. William. He was worried about his true identity being uncovered. Chase nodded. The others in the lounge seemed slightly impressed by my revelation. Oh, I did this already. Okay, let's go back some more. Possibly stabbing conditions like this seem to think. Ah! You ran toward the back of the mansion.
Final round. Fight.
Oh, I can get stuff? Let's see. Oh, is it gonna be on some shit like I have to get the apron from him? This isn't right either.
Final round. Fight.
Wait, so if I lose, what happens? Because it's called suicide mission. So I wonder if that's a hint. It'd be funny if it's just not, and then all of this was for nothing. And then I just get like a stupid ending or something.
Final round. Fight.
Oh, that's...
Final round. Fight!
All right, now that I got the... Does that mean I can continue now? Well, I have to still not do anything. No. Jonas, are you out there? Nah, I don't trust it. It's like, try again. Okay, so if I lose on purpose, just to say that I did. My body hit the frozen ground hard. The icy wind held around me, draining what strength I had left. Was I struck by the Banshee? It was the last thought I had before I lost consciousness. type of foolishness. So this tea break thing. Alright, so this leaves me back here, even if I choose to examine the charred body or not. So if this is just like a dead end. Like, is it going to, like, give me information even though I'm not supposed to continue past this point? Alright, I guess I gotta go back here. See what the hell this was. Oh, we contact the police, everything will be fine. Like John's killer could be any one of us. Possibility should be ruled out. Take a deep breath and spoke up. The killer could be any one of us. Someone here doesn't have an alibi. Wave of excitement surged through me. Grace said we all each had a role to play here, and this might very well be mine. I was a detective, the one that could solve it all. With all eyes fixed on me, I continued. That person is... It's like me! Oh, do I gotta try all of them? Let's see what happens. Alright, Jonas, let's see. Jonas. Think about it. Jonas showing up late was suspicious. He looked at me with a strained smile. Yo, when we heard that scream, I was right here, just saying. That may be true, but he was right. But there was a hole in his story. I told him. We have the timeline of the crime all wrong. The scream was not necessarily at the time of the actual crime. It's entirely possible that John was killed before the scream was heard. The scream actually came from... the TV, the cat, the Banshee. What is happening? All right. The TV, all right. The cat is the funniest one. The cat. The scream was unreal, like it came from another dimension. We assumed it was John's final cry, especially since we found the body right afterward. But there's another possibility. I remembered the cat that darted out of the storage room. The cry it let out made us all jump. Could the scream have come from something else? Of course, anyone would know a cat when they heard one. But what if, with no warning, a cry suddenly echoed through the air? I directed my suspicions at the cat. That scream, could it have actually been you? The cat remained silent for a while, grooming itself, but eventually looked up and spoke. I suppose that about sums it up. Hold up a second. It talks. No way, too cute. The cat's unexpected speech caused a stir. But as he listened further, realized the cat was, in fact, just another guest, just like the rest of us. When I was out for a walk, I noticed the back door was open, so I decided to go in. That's when I saw the body. It yelped out in shock and then ran outside, climbing up to the roof. Then returned to the second floor through a vent. Ain't that something? You were the first to find him, Chase interjected. The first to find a crime scene is often suspected of being involved, but surely a cat couldn't kill someone. If you think about it logically, it seems John must have been killed before the scream was heard. The crime went down before the scream. Cool, but that doesn't mean I did it, Jonas said with a sarcastic smile. That's true. If the time of the crime was unclear, then everyone becomes a suspect. Very well. William, who had been unusually silent, raised his voice as if he had made up his mind. Let's check around the outside of the resort. Throughout the group, William continued in a calm tone. Quickly checking the surroundings should give us some reassurance there's nothing to worry about, yes? Count me in. Bobby stepped forward. Same group as before. So then this is just going to be the same thing, right?
Final round. Fight!
Down, William. No, I don't think this is right either. So then we go back here. Isn't his me? Just for fun, let's go me. Me! Raised both my hands and gestured to myself. I was alone when the scream echoed through the resort. I pretended to head to the bathroom, slipped out the window, and made my way to the crime scene through the back door. There I killed John and slipped back in the same window. That's how a master criminal orchestrates a crime. Of course, this is nothing more than deduction based on logic, I said, my smile tight as I continued. But the one who's truly suspicious is... Still me. Chris. Now we're going for it. All right. Still me. Raise both my hands into the air. I was the one who did it. The narrator turned detective committing the crime. What an astonishing twist. Couldn't help but laugh my own wit. But as I laughed, there was a sudden snap. The sound of something breaking. Quit joking around. Folks already jumpy enough. It was Chase. His eyes were bloodshot and veins bulged on his forehead. That snap I heard was the last piece of his patience. Takes a downright fool to get me all riled up. Not about done with your nonsense. Then everyone charged at me with force.
Final round. Fight.
Still me. Like your mistake is thinking that you could beat me.
Final round. Fight. Final round. Fight. Final round. Fight. Final round. Fight. round. Fight. Final round. Fight.
You know what I'm supposed to be getting? Shadowloo shoulder gloves. Nah.
Final round. Fight. Final round. Fight.
Like what? Like the cat? Like what?
Cut that out.
I emerged victorious despite the odds stacked against me. Gasping for breath, I looked down at the group lying motionless on the floor. The perpetrator was among them. They certainly wouldn't be striking again. The case was solved. A laugh trickled from my throat. Sheer strength. In the end, that's what solves everything. Even Sherlock Holmes had a fair bit of muscle to him. This was the way it was meant to be. As I basked in my triumph, a voice suddenly called out, "Yoga!" Someone suddenly appeared midair and lunged at me.
Final round. Fight.
Like the level 100. All right, you want to play? It's not to the ground before I could even grasp what was happening. The searing pain blurred my vision. Yoga! The voice cut out again and the being vanished. Who was that? I felt like I had seen them before, or I remember my consciousness slipped away. Yoga to the head. This is some bullshit, dog. It's like, I did it. And all eyes fixed on me, I continued. That person is Grace. I pointed an accusatory finger towards Grace. She silently raised her eyes to mine. Even in moments like this, she remained calm. She had previously discussed the killer's intentions. She speculated that the murder might be lying in wait, and that they could be trying to target someone else. She put herself in the killer's shoes. Of course, it didn't mean she killed someone herself, but I couldn't help but feel that if she were to kill someone, she would remain calm as a kitten. She possessed seemed to be an absolute nerves of steel. You're just joking, right? Grace replied effortlessly without hesitation. Yeah. I expected her to react even slightly, but she simply brushed it off unfazed. Very well. It's like, I don't trust this nonsense, dog.
Final round. Fight.
William? Jonas's absence was settling, but considering the situation, looking for him would be futile. We should get him to safety. Jonas went after William, and then Max just knocked him out clean. What in tarnation's going on here? Entirely sure Jonas may have been the one who hit William, and then, because of that, fighting by accident, we ran into each other. So you make it a lick of sense. Saying Jonas did it. William. All of a sudden. Huh? It's like we're doing this again. We're caught in an infinite loop. This is the endless 8. Alright. Hold on a second. Jonas! You're wearing a disguise. A disguise? Jonas shouted in a bewildered voice. Think this beard's fake or what? My intuition told me he was lying. I grabbed Jonas's beard and yanked as hard as I could. Ouch! Screamed. Oh, feel of his beard was a mistake. What the hell are you doing? Very with a thud. Why the heck would I need a disguise anyway? Well, hadn't thought about it. Sorry. Nah. This is garbage, dog. All right, let's see. Like, it's me. Jonas. You have an accomplice, don't you? An accomplice? His burst out laughing. Why are you singling me out? Anyone here could pull this off. They had a partner, you know. Yeah, I guess. He had a point. Perhaps I had gotten carried away playing the detective. Sheepishly backed up.
Final round. Fight!
Hmm. Bobby. He's the one that stood out to me. Bobby emerged from the game room just after the scream. He came and was going to fetch the key. I believe that he also helped around the resort. Like the option to make a spare key if he desired to.
Final round. Fight!
No, wait, I did this already. Let's. Easy. Maybe. Hmm. So we got to figure this out. Let's see. Me. So from here, I assume it just goes back into what it said before. Jonas. The timeline of the crime all wrong. It's highly possible that John was killed before the scream was heard. The scream actually came from. It's like the cat. The TV. This one? She's playing the TV in the lounge. Yeah, this one don't make no sound. Told me at the TV in the lounge will encourage guests to engage in conversation. There's no TV in the billiard room either. I was playing in the game room when I heard the scream. My expression grew thoughtful. We don't have any games that make noises like that. I see. Seems like I wasn't on the right track. Very well. Nah, let's see. Just saves coming every possible route. Here we go. Timeline's all wrong, man. Scream not necessarily at the time of the actual crime. It's highly possible John was killed before the scream was heard. The scream actually came from the Banshee. That's right. The spirit of the wind, the Banshee. Think about it. It wouldn't be strange for a Banshee to scream like that. Nah, I don't think so, Jonas said with a serious expression. As far as I know, the Banshee's not a screamer. That's literally what a Banshee does, is scream. That's the whole point of the Banshee. To mention, it didn't sound like the wind. This is like, what type of rinky-dink operation is this game running?
Final round. Fight!
The Banshee is Jonas. Mm-mm. Hmm. The cat. Hold up. Wait, think I have an idea. It's probably not going to work, but I have to at least check because
Final round. Fight!
No, never mind. Okay. It's like I thought maybe it would do something stupid where if you got what's his face, Jonas, to talk about the Banshee, that it would then the dialogue would change if you accused him of being the Banshee later, but that didn't work. Am I supposed to go back further than that? His body in there, right? Wait just a moment. Just having a peek. No, this leads to the same thing. I did it. We're just stuck in the same thing. If I go back and do this, the following was written. Tonight at midnight equals D. some reason I felt like I could read them. Someone will dance. Oh no. Dance. I don't even know why I read it that way. Maybe it's because of how this place looked. Like a grand ball could be hosted here. As I continued talking, Bobby happened to pass by. Oh wait. Maybe he overheard us. Perhaps something came to mind because he turned on his heel and walked down the stairs. Curiosity tugged at me as I followed him downstairs. Before I knew it, the game room spread out before me, filled with rows of arcade cabinets. I watched as Bobby walked up to one of the machines. Power Steering Fighter 6. Legacy and innovation meet at last. Peeked at the screen from his item as he continued playing and said, "Heard your conversation from earlier. It made me remember something. This game is getting an update tonight. The update will bring a wave of players to online competitive play. So I thought it would be a good idea to get in some practice before things heated up. What do you say, Max? Want a tango?" Bobby said while grinning. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't into fighting games. I'm in. Then bring it. With that, we jumped right in.
Final round. Fight!
You like that?
like that's not my avatar. GG's. We exchanged a fist bump and praised each other's tech. It was fun, but don't you feel a little unsatisfied? His voice dropped a notch and leaned in. Games are cool and all, how about a real fight? I was thinking the same thing. I'm in. Then bring it. With that, we jumped right in.
Final round. Fight!
GG. Exchanged a fist bump for each other check. That was fun, but don't you feel a little unsatisfied? Games are cool and all, have a real fight. I was thinking the same thing. I'm in, then bring it. With that, we jumped right in.
Final round. Fight!
Hey, dog, hold on. GG.
Final round.
Where does it go? Hey, dog.
Final round.
Hey, dog. Hold on. What the? Something wasn't right. We seemed trapped in an endless loop of battles within the game. At least that was how it felt. Have we been pulled into a virtual world? Or was I standing there at the cabinet, lost in its grip? My mind spun, took me in every direction. Kneeling on the floor, I fumbled desperately for the power cord. If I could just shut the game off. I grabbed onto the plug and yanked it out of the wall. Like pulling the plug. Alright, dog, that's... I'll figure out what the hell is supposed to happen some other time. I'll have to think about it. I'll try not to cheat, just look up how I'm supposed to do it, but I'll put some thought into it. Or is it one of those things where I can't get like the true ending until I exhaust all the other options? Maybe. Oh well. It's a mystery for another day. So, until next time, it's been Like the Bar, and no, none of our problems were solved. The one time we tried to solve all our problems with violence, some level 100 Dalsim came in and kicked my ass. So...